So in this video, we are going to work on the button component. And before I will start this video, please make sure to subscribe the channel, like the video, share the video to your friends, and please give a comment on this video. It will highly motivate me. Okay. So let's go on a Figma design and let's see that how our button will look like. So this is button which have a solid background. This is also a button with it's just a text, but it will act as a button, right? When we will click on a view all, then we will go on a total post. Okay, and this is an bar. So in this video, let's focus on this and this. Also, we have icon button. Okay, and we're going to work on that too. So as we know that we are going to work on the individual component, which is a button component, and we want to visualize it, right? So in one of the video I told you that we are going to use the storybook for the visualization. We will going to use the storybook as well to visualize this button and this button. Okay, so please make sure to pay attention in this video, and let's see and write the code. So if I will go here, then you will find that we have a source folder and the storage folder inside the source folder. Let's make two new folder. The first folder will be a foundation. What does that mean? I will explain you. And the second folder will going to be a feature. As the name suggests, the foundation folder will keep all the individual component like the button, the text, the card, all the individual component which we are going to work, we will keep it inside the foundation folder, and the feature folder will keep the code related to the whole page. Okay, so that's a difference between the foundation and the feature. So let's go on the VS Code again and let's go on a foundation. As we are working on the buttons component, so we will going to put the button component inside the foundation. So before I will make a new folder, let's go on the browser and let's see the Chakra UI button. So in a Chakra UI, we are getting four type of button. This is button with solid background, button with outline, button we don't have a solid background and outline, just a normal text, and button with link. So we are going to use this and this button. Okay, so when we import this thing, we will going to import the button. Okay, so here we have the import button thing. Okay, so if you see it, then you will find that we are importing the button as a component. So the Chakra UI is providing the name of the component as a button. So if we will go on a VS Code, and if we going to create our own button, then there will be a name conflict. Okay, so if we create our own component, the name of the component as a button, and Chakra UI is also giving a name of the component as button, then there will be a name conflict. That's why to solve the name conflict, what we will going to do, we are going to create a new folder and we will going to attach pf button. Pf will be going to a prefix. What does that mean? PF means portfolio. Okay, so we are going to attach the PF button, which means that PF button is our own component. Okay, so let's go over there and let's create a new file that will be a pf button.tsx. Okay, and let's create a functional component, and the name of the component will be a PF button, right? And let's import the Chakra UI button over here. As of now, we are not going to do anything. Let's just see and let's visualize it in a storybook. Okay, that how it will going to look like with our React web app. But before we will, let me just show you that how it will look like currently. Let's go on a stories folder, and as of now in a stories folder, we don't have any new folder. Let's create a PF button. You can name, please use the same name as you have created the component. We are going to put the same name on a storage also. So PF button, and to visualize any button, to visualize this component, we are going to create a new story. The name of the story will be the same, PF button. Okay, but what will be the difference? The difference will be we are going to attach a storage. Okay, dot tsx. So storybook will take care that how it will going to find the stories. So we are going to attach this stories thing, and storybook will take care to find it out and what is the story and what is the component. So this is a stories. Okay, so here what we have to do, we have to just export the default, and here we will going to make a title. That name will going to be on a storybook. Just see one time, it will be a pf foundation slash pf button. It have a second key called component, where we have to provide the component that will be a pf button. Okay, and we're going to import the pf button, but just wait. And we are writing a first stories, right? So please be careful, just pay attention. We are going to create a functional component called default. I will explain you all the thing, just pay attention for some time. And it will be a function component, and it will going to return the pf button which we just created. Okay, so it will act as a component, and let's return it. Okay, and for it we need to import the react as well, because it's a component. To visualize it, we have to import the react. So as of now, in a pf button we don't have anything, we are just using the chakra button, right? And in a storybook we are just importing that pf button which we created. We haven't set up anything yet, we are just going one by one. Okay, now let's visualize this pf button in the storybook. And how we will launch the storybook, let's go on a package.json file. And in the storybook, I have told you that to run the storybook server we need to use this storybook script. So let's go in a new terminal and let's run it using npm run storybook. It will going to launch the storybook in a 6006 port. Let's go over there and let's see that how it will look like. I have removed all the storage which we had earlier at the time of setup, and now you can see that here what the storybook did, that it's launched its playground, and inside they have created a foundation which we specified over here. Okay, and after this foundation we have the pf button. This is the pf button, and we are launching the default. So this is a default. So this is a first setup of our story, that how you can set up the story. Okay, so this is the whole thing which we did just, and this is a component. If you're not able to see it, but this is a component, and this is a button. I mean, it's not looking good as of now. We're going to work on it. And if you go on a docs, then you will find there is a button. You can see the code, and this is the code. It also provides the documentation apart from the visualization. Okay, so you can visualize your component and you can get your documentation as well. Let's work on the component as of now. And okay, so we just set up our first story, right? But if I will add something over here, so just pay attention over here. So in a button, let's provide the children as well, like hello button, something like that. Button, oh, we did a mistake. Button, we did hello, control S, and let's see that what we are going to see. You can see that hello, we are able to see the hello. Okay, and when you do this thing, then generally you will get, the theme will not going to apply of the chakra UI. I did one step and I haven't covered that thing, because uh, that's that's related to a storybook, and just that is just a copy and pasting. So when we set up the storybook, then the dot storybook folder is automatically created, right? In the dot storybook, earlier we had the main.js and preview.js. Okay, I have added the third file for the storybook purpose now, okay, because we are using the Chakra UI and we are using custom theme. Because of that, we need to use this webpack.config.js because we are going to apply the custom theme, right? So that's why you have to create this file webpack.config.js file inside .storybook folder. And the code, how you will get this code, you will get this code from my, okay, from my GitHub. So you will find a GitHub link on the description. And when you go on this branch, then you will find that Storybook setup branch is already created over there. When you go it over here, then you will find the .storybook folder. In the code of the webpack.config.js is there. You just have to copy it and paste it on your webpack.config.js file. That's it. Also, you have to add a code for the preview.js. Just copy the code of the preview.js and paste it on your preview.js. We are using the Chakra provider here. We have to add it because of that only, because we are using Chakra UI. Okay, so just don't worry about that. Just copy the code and paste it on a preview.js. The preview.js file is already there inside the storybook. Also, we have the main.js. Just go over here and just copy the code of the main.js and paste it over here on the main.js file. And stop your storybook server and rerun it again. Then only you will visualize the code of the storybook. Okay, so let's go on the button. Now you got the idea that how you can set up this three file to apply the themes on the storybook, because Chakra UI theme will not going to apply until you will set up these three things. Okay, now let's go on the PF button stories.tsx, and what we are going to do, we have created the theme also, right? And in the theme we have created this component. Yeah, so inside the component, let's add the theme of the button component. Okay, so if I will go in the Chakra UI button, then you will going to find that we have a four type of button and it have a props called variant. Okay, it have a props variant and it can be a solid, outline, ghost and link. As we are going to use the variant as solid and ghost, then let's add theme for these two. Okay, I will going to go on this component and I will going to use the button. Okay, so we are going to apply the theme on the button, right? And it have a props called variants. Okay, and let's first apply the theme on a solid variant. So this is how you will add a theme for the component. You have to use the component name and the property which you wanted to apply. Okay, the theme, and we have a solid theme. So let's apply the color. So we are going to apply the color because if you go on a portfolio, the color which we have, it's a primary. So let's use the background color as the primary. So background color, and we are going to use as a primary. Remember, I have used the background, then the capital COLR. So that's how you use the CSS property. Okay, so we are going to use the background color. Okay, so we are going to use the primary color which we already specified over here. Okay, so we don't need to hard code the color code. Let me hit the save, and let's see on the storybook. You can see that the color code is applied over here. Okay, so whenever we will use this PF button in our web app, we don't need to hard code the color, right? If we are using the variant as a solid. Okay, we have a variant as a ghost as well, which we saw in the button component. So let's add a theme of the variant as a ghost. Okay, so ghost, and let's add a color. What will be the color? The color will going to be a secondary, right? So let's use the secondary color. I have a doubt I have to use a color or color scheme. Let's see that. Okay, so here you will not going to visualize it because we are using the button PF button component, and automatically the variant is by default it is a solid. Okay, so let's add another story that will have a not a default ghost button. Okay, and here we will come to write, to take a props for this PF button. Okay, so generally in a PF button we are not taking any kind of props as of now. Okay, we need to customize this button, right? We need to customize it, so we have to take some props while we use it anywhere. So as of now we are not passing any kind of props, and if you go on a storybook, a new categories are that is a ghost button, and here you will find that we are just using the hello only. Okay, that is the same code which we have for the default and for the ghost. Okay, so we need to customize this PF button. I'm doing the thing one by one so you will understand everything. Okay, so that's why I'm going to add a props. Okay, because we are using the TypeScript, so we have to create a type for the props also. So if I will take variant, okay, that will be our props, because we need to take a variant that can be a solid or that can be a ghost. So we need to take it as a props, and as we are using the TypeScript, so we need to define the props type as well, right? So let's create a props type. That will be a type, prop type, and the variant. So variant can be a ghost, okay, and can be a solid. So that is our first props. Okay, so that is our first props, and let's use it like this. And remember, I haven't used the question mark because if I will not use the variant as here as a question mark, then this is a required props. Okay, so if I will go on a storybook, then this PF button will going to throw an error message that we are not passing the variant. Okay, that is a required props for us. So let's make it as a question mark, and let's apply it over here. So if I will hit the save, then that error message will go on, and automatically the variant should be solid. Otherwise that will not make sense. So this button, we are using it from the Chakra UI. So this button is a component, we are using it from the Chakra UI, and here we already have a variant props, right? As I told you that Chakra UI have a props called variant. So this variant which we are getting from the from the as a props from the PF button, we have to provide it over here. Okay, so if I will go over here, and automatically if we will not provide a variant, then it will be a solid variant. But if we use the variant, okay, as a ghost, okay, that's the beauty of the TypeScript. You can see that automatically all the thing we are getting as an intelligence. Then the color will going to be secondary. So if I will go on a ghost button, then you will find that the color of this button is a secondary color. Okay, so you can see that, right? Now we have added the theme of the button of their variant. So if we use a solid, then that will automatically the color of the background will be primary, and if we use the variant as ghost, then the color of the button, the text will going to be a secondary color. Okay, so that's the beauty we are doing on a theme, and we are able to visualize everything on the storybook. So yeah, so if you go over here, then this is a download resume, and this is a view all, right? So let's work on that thing. So it have the if I will go on inspect, then you will find it have a width 208 and height 47 px. Also it have the border radius 2px. Let's add that thing on the theme. Basically, we can what we can do that we can add the thing over here, or we can take a style props. Just like we are getting the variant as a props, we can take the style props. Okay, so let's take the props, the inline style props, style. Okay, in the type of this style will be a object. Okay, so let's change it. The name is style props. Okay, that will be a good. And here you can see that we have hard coded this thing. We don't want to hard code anything in this custom component which we are going to make. So let's take this children as a props only. So let's take the children. So this video may be large because we are doing the thing first time. Okay, so that's why I'm explaining everything a bit by bit. So please have patience, and let's take this style and this children, and yeah, we need to add it over here. Okay, and let's add the style props over here. Initially it will be a empty, and it can be a non-required. Okay, and this Chakra UI have a props for the style is a SX. Okay, so we need to pass that style prop we are getting in the SX props. So this SX props button will take. So if you go on a documentation of the button, then you will find it have the SX props, and you can do the inline styling of the button on that SX props. Okay, I'm not able to get a example. So these are the example we have. So yeah, take the SX props. Okay, so let's focus on it. So this button have the width 208 and 47 px as a height. Let's go on a VS Code, and let's go on a storage. As of now it's giving a error because we have added a props called children, and we need to pass that children props because that is a requirement. Okay, that is a required props. Okay, and let's pass download resume because that is a button name, right, for us. And let's use this PA button. It will say view all. Hit the save, and now we can pass the style props. Let's use the style props, and let's do the inline styling. So just pay attention over here, and we need to add a styling for the width. The width is 208px, so let's use the 208px. We have to provide the height. Height is 47px, so let's use the 47px. Also it have the border radius. If you find over here it have a border radius, so let's use it. Remember we are doing the inline styling, so if you have anything that dash, just remove that dash, and the letter we had just remove, just use a capital letter. So we had small r, we are using the capital R. So this is inline styling. It will be a 2px. Okay, let me hit the save, and let's go on a storybook, and let's see. You can see that the the button color, button height and width are increased. Okay, and if I will increase the border radius, then you will find it is now looking good. So I will use border radius as 10px. So this is a code which we will going to use on our home page. Okay, so now we worked on this thing, and this is the code which we are going to work, and which we are going to use on our home page. Let's see the text height, the font style. Font weight is a 500, that is a normal, and font size is 20px. Let's add that thing also in our style props. Let's use the font size, it will be a 20px. Hit the save, let's go over there, and font size is 20px. It's really big. I don't know why here it's not big, but here it's big. Yeah, so if we will not use the font size as a 20px, then it's small. Okay, leave it as of now. Okay, and yeah, we can provide the font size as well. That's idea. Let's add a style props for the second one, the ghost button also. I will going to copy this thing and I will going to paste it over here. We don't need the width and height and border radius, but we will going to need the font size. Let's go and let's click on a view all. You will find the weight is 400. Okay, font weight is a 400, and it have a font size as a 16px. What if we will add the font size as a 16px and the font weight as 400? How it will going to look like? Okay, so I think that props is applied over here. Okay, and you can see that you are getting all the documentation over here as well with help of the storybook, so you can see the code. Okay, so this is kind of documentation as well which we are getting for individual component. We have worked on this button. Okay, and I think the video is kind of lengthy, but the one thing is left over here is we have to pass the uh, on click event. As of now we are not getting a props called on click, because after clicking on a button we just wanted to show something, right? So that is not added. I mean, that props is not added, so let's add the on click, and let's use it any as of now. Okay, this on click is required, or we can use as a non-required as well, and let's get it. And every button have a on click event, right? We're going to pass that on click over here. Okay, so you can use the on click over here, the on click, and it will be a function. So as of now it's an empty function. Okay, so this is pretty much that we have added this kind of props. We just visualize, we just wrote the first story for our individual component, and we worked on the button. Let's see that how we can work on this icon button. That will be a short video, and we will going to work on this icon button in the next video, and then we will move forward for the text. Thank you all. If you think this series is helpful for you, please give a like, please share it, also subscribe the channel and add a comment please. It will motivate me. Thank you all. Happy coding. See you on the next video.